The following presentation is brought to you by the Realm Network.
Hello, everybody. It's Friday, which means we're going to record. I'm going to get it right this time. The show doesn't air till Saturday. Jeff always corrects me on that. Anything But Freakin Rasslin, where Jeff Lane and myself talk about everything going on in the world outside of wrestling. Jeff, how you doing today?
I'm doing much better than last night. You know, we tried to record this show last night, and because of I upgraded from Windows 7 to Windows 10, my microphone stopped working, and it was a whole ordeal for me. And I'm back to Windows 7. We'll say that.
Yeah, Jeff, I started feeling bad for you. You know, to be honest with you, at one point I pulled the plug, but you know, it was only like about a little after 10 o'clock over here. But I knew it was starting to get into 12, 1 in the morning for you over there, and I didn't want you being up all night. So I'm glad that you were able to, you know, uninstall 10 and install 7 this morning.
Yeah, I for whatever reason with Windows 10, my USB microphone would not work, and my laptop isn't that high tech, so my normal microphone isn't good sounding. I don't like to use it on these broadcasts. You know, it sounds better for the Realm Network if I use this USB microphone. So I upgraded to Windows 10 because it was free, and a lot of people were saying to do it. And then, you know, it looked very nice, but my computer started running slower, and then all of a sudden my microphone wouldn't work. So after you pulled the plug last night and said we'll do it tomorrow, I went to the Microsoft help chat. They remotely took over my computer. They're going through all this stuff with the microphone, and they couldn't get it to work. And then they're like, well, your microphone just must not be compatible with Windows 10. And I'm like, well, you know, it was compatible with Windows 7 and it worked fine. So if I'm upgrading to a newer program, shouldn't that make everything better for me, not worse? And the guy's like, yeah, I understand. I don't know what to tell you. So he taught me how to go back to Windows 7, and that's where I sit right now.
You know, Jeff, at the end of the day, though, between you and me, and I mean, I know you realize this because, you know, you're probably a smart guy, and everybody realizes this. Bro, at the end of the day, isn't the upgrade Windows just a big freaking gimmick anyway? You know, they'll add a bell and whistle here and there that at the end of the day doesn't really matter. It's just Microsoft's way of making a ton of money, isn't it? But obviously, at the end of the day, is it really worth the headache to anybody?
Right. Yeah. I mean, there was some cool bells and whistles. As soon as I got it on, I ordered something from Amazon through VinceRussoBrand.com, of course, the other day. And as soon as I got onto Windows 10, like, it's telling me your package is shipped. It's tracking it for me on the Windows. I'm like, well, this is awesome. You know, it integrated my Xbox account into the Windows games, so I could do that. But, you know, all that stuff, that's really not what's important. I need my microphone to work to do these shows.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, Jeff, because, I mean, if you like that other stuff, that really blows that it didn't work for you, you know?
Yeah, but it did slow down my computer a lot. So,
yeah,
you know I don't have a high-tech laptop, but I did all the specifications and the test, and they said, yes, you can run Windows 10 fine, and it was free. So I'm like, all right, well, let's do it. And, you know, Pastor Dave was telling me to do it, and so I'm never listening to Pastor Dave again. Just kidding, Dave. But yeah, so I don't know.
Jeff, the download alone was how long?
It actually went faster than I thought, but it probably from start to finish took about an hour and a half. Because it kept restarting and refreshing, and then I had to uninstall stuff. That was another deal. Like, it uninstalled my web camera, so I had to reinstall all that. I don't know if there was a way that I could have avoided that. Like, I'm not too technically sound with that stuff, but yeah, it was like a whole day's thing at the end of the day. By the time I had to get rid of it and go back to 7, that was just kind of a waste.
Yeah, and it's a pain in the neck, too, when it's the end of the day and you're tired and you just want to do what you got to do. I get the feeling. Jeff, before we go on, let me just, again, quickly mention our sponsor of this show and a sponsor of the brand that I'm very, very thankful for, Kayfabe Commentaries. You know, again, they have a brand new DVD out of a timeline of 1985 with Magnum TA, where he really goes over the long history of the transition from the Jim Crockett promotions to, you know, WCW. It's very, very interesting. I just did a new timeline with them, 1998. with the WWE and the Attitude Era when I met with them over the weekend at the Legends Convention. That should be out shortly. These guys are so thorough, bro. I mean, there's no, the shoot interviews they do on the WWE, which are clearly slanted to get whatever spin WWE wants to get on it. And if people don't want to believe that, let me tell you this, Jeff. I will tell you this. There's a big Team 3D video, a DVD coming out. Okay. And, they asked Team 3D, who do you want on this video? Who was a big part of your career? And, Team 3D gave them a list. And I know they had Taz down there already for some filming. I know they had, Dreamer down there. I know they contacted a very good friend of mine, Blackjack Brown, because I was told, firsthand, let me put it to you that way, that Vince Russo was on that list because basically they said without Vince Russo, they would have never got into the WWE. And of course, the WWE chooses not to use me on their video. So, I mean, that should tell you right there. Whatever DVD they do, whatever, sit down interview they do, it's all a WWE slant. My point is, you're never going to get that with kayfabe commentaries. You're going to find out the real stories, what really happened. And that's why I really like and I support these guys.
Well, you were talking too how all their videos are so professional. They never go into it with an agenda. They just want to hear the facts and hear what happened and get everything laid out for the fans instead of trying to spin a slant or stuff. And I think that's really cool. Yeah.
And Jeff, like I said, my questions, they had 88 pages of work they done. I had a laugh the other day when, somebody was putting over the JBL and the Eric Bischoff and, how good JBL was and how the questions, like the person really believed JBL did all the research and JBL came up with all the questions. And there's not a producer assigned to the show that literally is coming up with that stuff and handing it to JBL, just like it would happen on a Dr. Phil or an Ellen or any show like that. Somebody behind the scenes is doing all the work. The interviewer is just asking the questions. But what blew me away with kayfabe commentary, they're doing the work. There's no, they're doing all the work to get the history, and they're looking at every show and, asking such specific questions. And I sat down with the guy that did the research. And I mean, I had to put him over. I'm like, my God, bro, how long? I mean, he literally put together a mini book in just the interview process with me.
That's crazy. And that's you already recorded that, right? So that should be coming out here in the near future.
Yeah. As soon as it comes out, obviously, I'll let everybody know.
Yeah, I'm waiting for I want to hear the review of that Disco, the guest booker with Disco.
Yeah, I have to get that to you too because you really need to see that as well. Can you imagine the WWE trying to edit Disco's guest booking version? It'd be about 2 minutes of the show, bro, on the DVD. Jeff, I got to tell you this. I got to tell you a story before we get into anything but wrestling, right? My wife's home yesterday and today, bro, and I like to do things, like when my wife is home, and I like to do I like day trips in Colorado. Because here's the thing, Jeff, that's pretty cool about Colorado. You literally can drive like an hour and a half or 2 hours in any direction, and there's just something like totally awesome. You know what I mean? And, we have about 5 places like down pat that, you can go to and that are cool. But I always like to kind of go out and experiment, But the cool thing about it, one of the places we go to is there's like a, bro, the you have the Indian reservation type casinos. Well, this I don't even know there's any Indian tie-ins to this, but there's a place in Colorado and it's called Blackhawk. And I mean, and it's really up in the mountains and it's, it's casinos. But, bro, they have some newer ones, but a lot of them are like really old school type of casinos. But it's a real nice, place to go to. It's very relaxing. I mean, bro, where you live, you think of places like Atlantic City and stuff like that are just like an absolute zoo. That's not how this place is. It's very laid back. You never have to wait for a slot machine or nothing like that. So, we like to go up there once in a while, right? So, Jeff, a lot of times she's usually off on weekends, so we'll go on weekends. And when you go on a weekend, you usually have a regular crowd, right? So, bro, we go yesterday, and it's a Thursday, and we get there early because I got up early. I always get up early. And, bro, I swear to you, I would have thought that they changed the name from Black Hawk to Geriatric City. First of all, Jeff, it amazes me that these geezers, okay, let's call them geezers, like literally just take their social security checks and blow it all on gambling, which I think is hysterical in itself. But Jeff, I'm telling you, there wasn't any outside of me and my wife, there wasn't anyone below the age of 70. And bro, here's the thing too. I think there was a prerequisite that you had to have an oxygen tank. In order to get through the gates, everybody is wheeling an oxygen tank around, bro. Which got me to believe, bro. In wrestling, Jeff, like everything's a work. I wonder, like with these doctors, because my parents live in Florida, and the health system with the senior citizens is like the biggest joke in the world. Like my mother and father go to the same doctor, and they tell them the same thing, and they get paid the same money like every single week. Like there is absolutely no point for them to go to the doctors, and it's a big scam. So like I'm wondering here, like it's almost like how many of these people really need an oxygen tank? To begin with. Like, but if you tell an 80-year-old person, bro, that you need an oxygen tank or, it's a matter of life or death, they're going to get the oxygen tank. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's funny because I used to go to the casino, not that often, but when I lived in Evansville, there's a casino there, Casino Aztar.
Is that the Riverboat? Yeah, bro, yeah. I've never been there, but I know all about the Riverboat, bro.
Yeah, it's really small, but it's nice. Yeah, but it's always, old people. And they're there till 5 o'clock in the morning or whatever. It shuts down. Like, it's just, I wonder if, you get to a point in your life where that's where you get your entertainment. I don't know. Maybe that's their getaway from reality.
Well, Jeff, here's the funny thing. Like, I'm not exaggerating. A lot of these people were in their 80s. And like, I'm thinking of like, well, what if you hit it big? Yeah, bro, you may have 6 months left. Like, and what are you going to do with all the money if you hit it? You're going to leave all the money to somebody anyway. You know what I mean? That's the first thing you think of. But, Jeff, here's the worst thing of this gimmick. I have no problem with this, with the geriatrics and the oxygen tanks and all that. But here's where there comes a problem, okay? And if you went to the Riverboat, you know how it works. Bro, with casinos, the big thing is you get the buffets. Because they don't charge you a lot of money for the buffets because they want you in town to gamble. So like we got a pretty good, nice lunch buffet for like $9.99. Well, bro, this lunch buffet, when you go in there, it's like the elderly are like the Walking Dead. Like that's all that's in there, So, bro, like first of all, there's two problems with that. First of all, like they make the food very, very bland. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like maybe if there's too much chili powder in the meatloaf, somebody's going to have a heart attack type of thing. You know what I mean? So everything is very bland and everything tastes like baby food, but I can even deal with that, right? But Jeff, here's the deal, bro. It's a buffet. When you get online behind a couple of these people, you're in line for the long haul. And let's face it, Jeff, you're going to lunch because you're hungry and you're ready to eat, right, bro? And now you're in line and there's 6 or 7 or 8 of them before you, bro. And bro, I swear to you, one hand, they're pushing along the oxygen tank. The other hand, bro, if you look at my coffee cup, it's like this. It's like this. It's like this, bro. It's like this. The other hand is shaking. So, bro, every time they pick up something to put it on the plate and the hand's shaking, they're missing the plate and it's going all over, where you serve. By the time they get one item on the plate, bro, it's 5 minutes. Then it's next to the next time. Then it's another 5 minutes. And then they're doing this, bro. And here's the funniest thing. And I swear to you, this happened, bro. You get to the part where they're cutting the meat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And the lady's there with the big chef hat and she's coming to me. Bro, there was this one woman, okay? She got there. She's got the oxygen tank and she's got the hand going a mile a minute here. The lady goes, "Ma'am, would you like some meat on your plate?" And the lady goes, bro, I'm not kidding you. I'm right behind this lady too. And the meat's at the end of the line. So like I'm almost home free so I can almost eat. So the lady, bro, she starts with, "What is that, meat?" And the lady goes, "Yes, ma'am. Would you like some?" And she repeated, "What is that, meat?" Lady goes, yes, ma'am. Would you like some? It's brisket. Roast beef? No, ma'am. It's brisket. What is that? Turkey? Bro, this went on, Jeff, I'm not kidding you, for 5 minutes with the brisket and the old lady. So finally, bro, I mean, bro, that whole deal almost takes as long as you're at the casino. By the time, they take your money like this, it goes for almost as long as you're literally at the casino.
You ever seen the ones with the oxygen tanks while they're sitting there with an oxygen tank at the slot machine and they're smoking a cigarette at the same time?
Absolutely, bro. It's incredible. It's like the greatest thing in the world to watch, unless you're behind them in the buffet line. So, bro, what's going on in the world? I got to say this, Jeff, and I'm sorry about this, but I have to say this, bro. I watched the Yankee game. I swear, Jeff, I can't honestly remember a team that feeble, like in the playoffs in years. Jeff, I have to tell you, listen, I know Teixeira got hurt. I understand all that, but I'm watching this game and I'm saying to myself, how the heck did they get there? You know what I'm saying, bro? And my God, when you have the contrast, Jeff, of an Astro team, bro, their average player is probably 26. Like nobody on that team has even reached their prime yet. When you got that and you table it with like guys that are clearly out of gas, like it's almost like, Jeff, they planned the whole season of 162 games, and all of a sudden it's like, what do you mean there's a 163rd game? And they're totally like out of gas. I mean, my gosh, bro, the contrast of the two teams. I mean, I watched that and I'm like, my God, you talk about a major overhaul that Yankee team needs at the end of this year. There are so many holes, bro, they need to fill. I don't even know where they start. What did you think watching the game?
Well, I said at the beginning of the year, I thought it was going to be a losing season. Just by looking at them on paper, watching, some of the spring training in the first couple, I'm like, this team is going to be terrible. And the fact that they made the playoffs, like, blew me away. Obviously, I didn't expect Teixeira to have the season he did. I didn't expect A-Rod to have, 33 home runs or whatever he had. But, the rest of the lineup, Beltran, I mean, he's nothing anymore. McCann, he was good in the first half of the year, and then the second half of the year he played like he did all last year. Ellsbury, on and off injuries, he's not doing anything. They're paying the guy $149 million or whatever it is, and he doesn't even start in the playoff game, which is ridiculous. But, I just you're right. They need a complete overhaul. I don't even see any pieces there that they can build on from the offensive side anyway. They're pitching. The bullpen's good. We got a few starters we can build on, but the offense just needs a complete overhaul. You're exactly right. They're old. They're over the hill.
Jeff, I got to be honest with you though, and like I haven't been watching. I've been watching the games, but I haven't been watching a lot of the analysts and all that. But I don't know if this has been brought up or not. But bro, you would have had to think. To me, you got to put the heat on the front office because, bro, you had to think at the trading deadline when there was good signs, that they were going to make the playoffs. So you would think at the trading deadline, knowing the team's going to make the playoffs and knowing these guys were running out of gas come July anyway, you would have had to think they would have tried to inject some new young blood, in that lineup, whatever they had to do. I mean, Jeff, correct, refresh my memory. Were any trades made at the trading deadline?
No, it's 2 years in a row, too, that they just sat with what they got. I mean, last year they traded for Steven Drew, and like the worst hitter in baseball. That was their trade last year. They didn't do any this year. You're right, though. I mean, it's Brian Cashman. He's the GM. I've never liked the guy. He builds a roster on names and not talent. You know what I mean? He gets guys that used to be good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Carlos Beltran, there was a time, when he was one of the best players in baseball. Well, he's not anymore, but, he likes that name in the lineup. That's just how he's been. He likes to get the names instead of the people in their prime.
Yeah. All right, Jeff, what do you got newsworthy for me?
Well, while we're on the Yankees, I just wanted your opinion on the CC Sabathia deal. For those that don't know, the day the regular season ended, or it was the day before the day it ended, right before the playoff game, he announced he was leaving the team to go into rehab for alcohol abuse. And from what I saw, the reaction was kind of 50-50 split. A lot of people were like, good for him. His life's what's important. He needs to get himself in line. Other people were like, why is he just doing this now when you just got into the playoffs? My uncle, it's funny. He says it's not alcohol. He got in trouble gambling and betting, and they're doing all this to cover it up. That's his theory. I got a kick out of that. But I just want to know what you thought. Was this a right move, or was this just kind of like, you know what, dude, you're in the playoffs. Why are you bringing this up now?
Well, I mean, Jeff, was it an automatic, that he was going to make the playoff roster? Was that automatic?
No, I don't think so. And the way he pitched this year, if it was up to me, I wouldn't have put him on the roster anyway. But, one of the veterans and one of your team leaders, to me, that was the big deal, is he wasn't going to be in that dugout. Obviously, I don't know if his demeanor had changed dealing with this alcohol issue. Now,
is he a free agent at the end of the year or anything like that, Jeff?
I don't believe so. No, I think he's still under contract.
Jeff, the timing of it is really questionable. I mean, that's why I ask, because listen, man, again, being a Giant fan, there are a couple people don't remember this, but their first real World Series run, like Pablo Sandoval was on the bench, like their one of the years, like Zito didn't make the it might have been the same year, did not make the roster. So he may have not been making the playoff roster. And I don't know, bro, maybe if it was to save face, maybe if it had to do something, with business, and, if he's going to become a free agent and other teams saying, oh, my God, the Yankees didn't even put him on the playoff roster. I don't know if that had something to do with it, bro. But unless, literally, you will rock bottom and waking up in an alley, somewhere. I mean, if you couldn't go a couple of weeks for how long the playoff is, without drinking, whoa, bro, you're really in a bad spot. And if that's the case, I don't blame him for going immediately. But, man, I kind of find that hard to believe that, okay, bro, you're in the playoffs now. You have a couple of weeks. Can you keep yourself clean? I don't know, bro. A lot of question marks. I'm sure after the season, a lot of stuff might come out.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, was something major had to happen that we don't know about. I feel like there was a major incident. Maybe he passed out somewhere, or he alcohol poisoning, drank too much, whatever it was. I feel like something happened where they're like, look, you need to get help now.
Yeah, or also maybe, Jeff, it was something like that happened, and the Yankees said, "Listen, bro, you either go out there and make a statement on your terms, or we have no other choice but to do it on ours." And obviously, he had to do that. So there's definitely something more there than meets the eye, bro.
Yeah, if he had an awful season, and if he's been dealing with this all season, if he's going out on the mound, either in withdrawal or intoxicated, that makes sense why he pitched so bad. Maybe that affected his performance this year. Who knows? Yeah,
but still, too, bro. The guy threw his arm out early on in his career. He was horrible yesterday, last year. And you know what, bro? I would not be surprised if that has a lot to do with it as well. I mean, all of a sudden, bro, if you're the best pitcher in baseball and then you're a former shell of yourself because it's not there anymore, bro, that's, bro, Tim Lincecum, I'm a huge Giant fan, won 2 Cy Young Awards. He's not even a mediocre pitcher anymore. I mean, he's not even a 500 pitcher. Bro, that has to be devastating, to really go through that in your career. And I'm sure that probably played a lot into where he is right now in his life, Yeah.
I hate talking about Justin Bieber. I know we talked about him on the last show, but did you see this deal with Ronda Rousey?
I saw another deal with Bieber. Tell me the Rousey deal. I saw a little bit about it, Jeff, but I really didn't read into it.
Apparently they were, I don't know what event it was at, but he was taking pictures with a bunch of people, and Ronda Rousey was there with her little sister, who got real excited. Her little sister's 16, got real excited to see Justin Bieber, and she asked Ronda, do you think he'll take a picture with me? She's like, of course he will. Let's go up. So they go up, and Ronda says to him, excuse me, can you take a picture? And he cuts her off and says, I've taken 1 billion pictures today. And she goes, well, she's the only 16-year-old here. Would you could you take a picture with her? And he goes, 1 billion, and then walks away.
Did he not know it was Ronda Rousey?
I have no idea. But I just think it's hilarious because I think she would destroy him.
Can you imagine the press if she would have just freaking dropped him? I mean, would that have not been the greatest thing? Bro, that would have got her. She's so super over now. But can you imagine if she did that? And what's he going to do, bro? He's going to file a lawsuit that a girl dropped him? You know what I mean? That would have been phenomenal.
Yeah, but that's why, I love Ronda Rousey for the fact that, she did it to Floyd Mayweather. She'll go and she'll just blast people for being jerks. You know what I mean? She doesn't hold back and respect the celebrity is celebrity. I'm not going to badmouth you. She said, my sister is no longer a believer and I'm not a believer. He's rude, and she said all this thing. Yeah, I applaud her for that, just like how she went off on Floyd Mayweather and I think you have to respect somebody that will call people out, especially another celebrity who I'm sure she goes through the same thing Bieber does. You know what I mean?
Of course.
If she's saying these things that she's got to sit, I'm sure she takes every single picture that anybody has to take with her. So the fact that she's saying this, I have major respect for that.
Yeah, bro, my Bieber story that I saw yesterday that I found absolutely fascinating. Did you hear this one, bro, about the supposedly he was in Bora Bora, bro, and he was with his buddies or whatever, and he was swimming naked, and then supposedly some news source, snapping pictures of him. So they got 3 pictures of Bieber naked, right? So, bro, the first reports are he's through the roof. He's suing everybody. If those pictures go up, somebody's going to die, yada, yada, yada. The typical celebrity reaction to pictures they didn't want taken, right? So then, bro, the story goes to evidently somebody shows him the pictures. So now he looks at the pictures, bro, and he likes the way he's hung in these pictures, and he doesn't think he looks so bad in these pictures. So now it's okay with him if the pictures get released. Bro, this is the mind of just a 16-year-old kid who is just absolutely clueless, bro.
I saw that too. He's like, well, okay, so apparently he's got a big one, so now he wants everybody to see it.
Right, right.
I've always wondered what this guy, he is such an a-hole, legit. If I ever saw this guy, I wouldn't even want to talk to him. I don't care if he's a celebrity or famous or would impress people or not. I really can't stand this guy. I wonder how much of this do you put on he's just this way or the fact that he's been famous since he was 13 years old? What I mean?
It's that, bro. It's definitely that, because if you go back and you look at, when he first got discovered and when he first broke in, the guy was very, very humble, bro. What celebrity does to people, Jeff, is just, absolutely incredible. But Jeff, here's the thing that I would love to see. Can you imagine now, okay, I'm good with the pictures, guys. Yeah, no problem. No. Bro, can you imagine then if the news service runs with the pictures, but they doctor his wiener, bro, and they bro, and they make it like the little turtle head, literally 2 inches small. Can you imagine that, bro? After he gave them permission to, go ahead, run with the photos. There aren't going to be any lawsuits on my end. That would be, bro. And then it's and then what does he do? He sues. No, I'm bigger than that. And then what? Then you got the George Costanza thing. They say, well, there was shrinkage because you were in a. Can you imagine that whole thing, bro? How hysterical was that?
That would be hysterical, man. Somebody should do that. I don't know if the pictures are out there. And maybe Gil, our graphics guy, he's good. Gil, find Bieber's wiener and make it tiny for us. How about that?
Oh, my God, bro. That's too funny.
But speaking of naked celebrities, did you see this Demi Lovato thing?
No,
She I guess she was doing this interview with this magazine. I can't remember what magazine it is. It's a big celebrity magazine. One of them, fancy ones. And the photographer got in with her, and they're doing the interview, and she decides, okay, I just want to do a nude shoot. I don't want any clothes on. I'm not wearing any makeup, and you guys are not to touch up these photos. So they take all these pictures of her. They call them nude, but she's covering everything. You see her bare butt, but, her boobs are covered, her private is covered. But So she's all out there, full skin, you know, full butt hanging out, no makeup. And the reason is because I guess she struggled. You know, I think it's pretty documented. She had eating disorders and mental disorders and all this stuff when she was coming up famous. And she's overcome so much things, and she wants to show that it's okay to be comfortable in your own skin and to be out there. But I don't know if that's the message it gives off. I mean, she's not a normal looking girl. I mean, it's Demi Lovato. So, I mean, I would be comfortable in my skin if I looked like Demi Lovato if I was a girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, you and me come on here every day with no makeup. We don't get any credit for that. I don't understand.
Yeah. Well, yeah, bro, you know what it is? Because listen, when these girls, anybody like has a photo shoot or anything like that, I mean, bro, we don't know the intent of touching up. And I mean, bro, and like I was watching the Dr. Phil show on this the other day where they took an average girl and then they showed frame by frame by frame and they made her into a runway model. I mean, and that's his whole point, that everything in Hollywood, like, it's an illusion. And that was the story. There was a little girl on there, you know, a 15-year-old girl that wanted to be like this. And Dr. Phil was like, listen, I don't even look this way. You know what I'm saying? So I guess we don't really realize it, but, you know, somebody like that has to live it every day and sit down in a makeup chair and go through hours of that, you know, to them, it must be a really big deal that, you know what, you know, younger girls that look up to me, you know, really need to see me for who I am. So, I mean, I'm sure there's a huge difference with her doing this all natural compared to, you know, the you know, thousands of dollars, you know, she pays a makeup artist per session. So, I mean, I think that's a pretty big deal. I think that's a good choice on her part.
Do you not? I mean, I'm just playing devil's advocate here. You know, she's out there naked. I don't know if she's doing this for young girls, is going to take naked pictures of herself, A, the right message, and B, now are they going to be, because Demi Lovato is hot in these pictures, man. It's not like she's a normal looking girl with, you know, love handles or a little belly bulge. I mean, she's in shape and she looks great. Now, are they going to be standing in the mirror naked comparing themselves to her naked pictures? You know what I mean?
Well, I think, Jeff, the fact that you said, I mean, they weren't really naked, and she was covering herself up. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I don't even consider them, you know, naked pictures. But, you know, that's the thing, bro. If Demi Lovato goes out there and says these were all natural, no touch up, blah blah blah, and she's really in that type of shape, I think you can look at the other side of the coin where the message to these girls is like, listen, if you want to do what I'm doing, then you have to take it as serious as I do. And either, you know, you're going to get into the gym and you're going to get into the kind of shape I am, or it's not that important to you and you're not going to. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I still, you know, I still think it's okay what she did. That's just my opinion.
I hope it does, you know, portray that positive message to what she's trying to get at, because she's been a great role model for girls. I mean, she's been an open book with everybody. Anything she's struggled with, any disorder she's had, she's put it out there for everybody to know. You know, she's been big against the anti-bullying. She used to be bullied. So she's been a great role model for girls. So I hope, you know, this portrays the message that she wants.
Yeah.
What else you got on your mind, man? I had an interesting thing with Victor Cruz, but I want to hear what else you got first.
I got a couple of things. I mean, first of all, like, this isn't even really on my list, but I'm going to mention this anyway. I mean, Rihanna's coming out like in Vanity Fair, and, you know, she does another amazing spread. But for the first time, she really talks about Chris Brown. She's never really talked about him before. And Rihanna had got so much heat in the past. You know, I mean, of course, it's well documented. He beat the crap out of her. You know, the pictures are all over the internet. But, you know, she went back, you know, and she got a lot of heat for that. And people really frowned upon her. And she never really talked about it before. You know, Rihanna is, you know, the I'm going to do whatever I want to do, and I don't care what anybody else thinks type of, you know, broad. So she talks about it for the first time. It basically says, you know, she thought she could change him, you know, and that's why she went back a second time. People make mistakes. I thought I could change him. But she said something to the effect of, you know, being with him, going back to him, just only reminded him of like what he did and how bad it was. And so he was never able to get past it. And that's the thing, bro. Listen, again, you talk about like the influences that celebrities have over people. Like, it drives me crazy, bro. When you look at the how many people subscribe to the Kardashians website, for $3 a month. It's totally like just insane, the influence they have over people, and especially girls that are younger. But like, this is a case where, like, Rihanna never spoke about it before, and she basically said, I thought I could change the guy. The guy beat me. I thought I could change him. Evidently, I couldn't. I hope that is a message to girls, that go through all this, because, bro, you all know the syndrome of once a guy starts beating a girl, all of a sudden they become a prisoner, and they almost become like addicted to it, and they can't get out. And whether it's the husband that's supporting the family or whatever the case may be, but for the reason they look at Rihanna as a role model, and some do. I hope this is a case that they really get the message. And here's another thing, Jeff. I don't understand this. I don't understand this with artists. And maybe you could explain this to me. The other night, Rihanna had a big revealing of her new album cover. Okay? Bro, Rihanna has not had a new CD in 3 years. I mean, she used to come out. She came out like 3 years in a row every November with a new CD. She hasn't had one in 3 years. So everybody's waiting on this new music. She's let it a little bit out here and there, but everybody's waiting on it. So finally, there was a big reveal for the album cover. I think it was on Thursday. And there were rumors that the album may drop like as early as Friday, but there's no release date. So it looks like she's just going to drop the album. And I don't know if you knew this or not. I'm sure you did. But, Beyonce's last album, she did the same exact thing. There was no hype. There was no hoopla. In the middle of the night, Beyonce dropped her album. I got to tell you, bro, I don't understand that theory. I know the power of social media, and I know the power of word of mouth. I understand all that. But when an artist hasn't released an album in 3 years, and you don't have an official release date, and it looks like you're just going to drop it, I don't understand that strategy, like going into that whatsoever. Am I missing something?
I don't know. Maybe it's just for shock value. You know what I mean? Maybe, to use a wrestling related term, like when the Dudley Boys came back, nobody knew about it. It was a huge deal, huge surprise. I don't know if they're trying to do shock value things such as that nature, like bam, new album. You know what I mean? And then everybody goes crazy, and then they're talking about it. I have no idea. Obviously, they don't need money, so it's not like they need to advertise.
That's exactly what it is, Jeff. I guess if it backfired, well, I guess it's twofold. First of all, God knows how much they save in the promoting of the album. And number two, like, even if it doesn't work up to their expectations, like, so what? Like, I mean, is she really banking on this money? Does she, really need to make this money? So I guess it's twofold. But I like I said, bro, I guess a regular release, just the advertising and the promotion and the PR and all that put in. My God, I can't even imagine what that costs. And maybe somebody with that kind of star power, like, doesn't even need that. The fans are just going to find it. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, so I don't know. That's an interesting topic. I'd like to see if anybody, like if Beyonce ever, explained why she did that, or if Rihanna will.
Yeah, I would love to see the numbers, like Beyonce's, the prior where they did the campaign. What did the campaign cost? What did the album make compared to the next one when it just came out? I would love to see those numbers. That would tell you the power of social media. I mean, that would tell you right there exactly how powerful it is. I'm going to do some research, see if I can find that out.
So this is hilarious. I mean, it's not, the situation's not hilarious, but I got a kick out of this. Victor Cruz, a wide receiver for the Giants, okay, his fiance, I don't know if she must have got a hold of his phone, got all these numbers out of it, but she sent the text from her phone, and she texted him, and she texted, I guess, all these women that he's been sleeping with on the side, okay? Or I'm sorry, it's his I don't know if I said wife, but it's his fiance. And she texts all the girls this. Hello, ladies. This is Elena, Victor Cruz's fiance. You all know about me, and I seem to be the topic of conversations with Vic. I'm sure he's told you many of things about us and how we don't exist, but given the fact that you all meet him in hotel rooms only, We all know that's a lie, just as he tells me you are all whores and mean nothing to him. I figured since you all know me, then I should introduce each of you to each other so we can all know who we have all been effing for the past several months. So ladies, meet one another and feel free to exchange notes. And she posted the screenshot of this online, and Victor Cruz has verified that that is legit.
Well, bro, here's the thing. It's like honestly, bro, what do these girls expect? Like, what did this girl in her wildest imagination really believe that Victor Cruz was being loyal to her? Is that what she really believed she was getting into? And I'm sure the other girls that were on his phone, whether he was a booty call or a one night stand or whatever it was, there's no doubt in my mind they knew what they were getting into, bro. You know how girls are around bro. I lived it. I saw the girls, around the wrestlers. They know what they're getting into. I mean, do you really think you're going to meet a professional athlete making millions and millions and millions of dollars that goes on the road, every other week, and what he's going to be faithful to you? I mean, if that's what you really believe in your mind, then you've got issues. Jeff, I say this all the time, bro. I worked with thousands of wrestlers. Bro, the only guy I ever knew to be loyal out of all those thousands of wrestlers, was Owen Hart. I saw a lot, bro, and I know a lot, and I would never, say this guy did. I would never go through that. But these girls, this woman had to be absolutely insane if she did not realize this was going on or was going to be going on. I wonder, though, on the other side of the coin, obviously, Victor Cruz doesn't care about her. I'm wondering, bro, if there is such a thing as an invasion of privacy when somebody goes into your phone and does something like this. I'm wondering if it's even legal to do that.
I wonder if they share a plan. You know what I mean? Maybe they're on the same plan. Who knows?
Yeah,
I mean, you would figure if somebody's going to go to this length to cheat with this many women that he would have a different phone to do all this with, especially with all the money he's got.
Bro, I'm not necessarily. I mean, because he probably really doesn't care.
Well, that's what I was wondering is, like, does she really care if she's still with this guy? I mean, she even says they've had a conversation about it. He just tells her they're just whores. But why is she still with this guy?
Right. Well, you know why she's with him, because of the fame and the money and everything that goes with, if she one day gets to marry him, and even if they get divorced, there's an agreement. And I mean,
but that's true. But would he marry her now after this? You know what I mean? They're not married yet. He doesn't owe her anything. So she goes public with this. He might be like, you know what? Forget you then.
Yeah,
but this is a whole messed up situation, man.
Yeah, I just don't know what the girl thought she was getting herself into, bro.
I don't know. I just thought, they put this stuff out for everybody to see, and I don't know. I think it's just as embarrassing for her as it is for him, the fact that she chooses to stay with this guy. You know what I mean? If she didn't know this was going on, that's a completely different story. She wants to say, screw you, how dare you do this to me? I've been loyal, blah, 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 blah. But if she knew this was going on, it makes her look just as bad for staying with him.
Yeah, I agree.
Dude, did you ever get your tonsils out?
Yeah, like when I was about 4 or 5. They don't do that as much. Back then it was like a rule of thumb, bro. Like everybody just did it. They don't treat it like that anymore.
Yeah, like I never got mine taken out, and I probably should have. And now they're just huge. Like they bug me. I can feel them in my throat. I feel like I need to get them taken out, but I don't know if is you ever too old to have that done?
I don't think so, bro. But like I said, that that was a gimme, back in the day. Like, bro, I was born in '61, so I think I was 4. I don't think I was in school yet. I remember it though vividly. But like, so 65. But, they don't do that anymore. I mean, bro, is there something like they could do to numb it? Or, I mean, have you had it checked out?
Yeah, I had an inflammation one time, and they gave me like these steroids or something to bring it down, and I gargle salt water and all this stuff. And it's like temporary relief. But they never, like the doctor I was going to at the time never suggested to have them removed. So, but I mean, they're so big now, and I feel them, and it's just it irritates me. So the next time I go to my new doctor, I'm going to have him take a look and see if that's something at my age that can be done, or if it even needs to be done. It's more irritating than anything. But
so, bro, you have no problem that you would go, just because it's irritating, you would go in and have that done.
Yeah. I also need surgery on my nose too, because I have a deviated septum and it gives me sinus problems and I snore really loud and sometimes I have issues breathing. So I wonder if I can just knock those both out at the same time.
See, bro, I'm like the total opposite. I got so many ailments, bro. I just live with them because like I refuse to like. I can't, like, bro, I hate doctors. I hate going to the doctors. Like, if it's something I could live in, and even if it's going to cause a little bit of pain or something like that, I mean, I totally suck it up. So I give you credit for that, bro.
Well, that's how I was growing up, and that's why I'm in this issue now. And, like, they told me to get my tonsils taken out. I was a teenager or whatever, and I said no, and my parents said okay. You know, they kind of babied me, and then I was supposed to get braces. I said no, and my mom's like, okay, you don't need to get them, and now I got a crooked tooth up here that's just looks ridiculous because I never got braces. So I was spoiled as far as that goes. Medical stuff growing up, if I didn't want it done, my mom was kind of like, okay, but now I'm paying for it. Yeah. So yeah.
That's well, yeah, I mean, yeah, bro, if you can't live with it, get it done, bro, Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't hurt. There's no pain. It's just, I just feel like I got a hairball in my throat.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, bro. Bro, I got a lot of little TV notes I want to go over with you, okay?
All right.
Bro, first of all, I think SNL for a long time almost has been going through like the same period as professional wrestling. I think you could almost compare the two, bro. When's the last time a legitimate star came out of SNL? Like, and again, here's the thing, like with Lorne Michaels, who's been doing this now for what, bro, 75, 85, 40 years? Yeah, 40 years, whatever the case is.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, I think it was 75. I think
because they just had that 40th anniversary special last year.
Yeah. Bro, this is a guy that knows talent and goes out and gets the talent and auditions the talent and has known for decades and decades and decades and decades who's going to be the next big thing. I mean, bro, we can't even go through the alumni of who came out of SNL. It's ridiculous. You can't even go through it. But now, you look at, like the last 5 years, and it's like who's come out of SNL, who's on the cusp of coming out of SNL. And bro, I'm bringing this up because, again, Jeff, a lot of times I look at stuff as a writer. This past week was the first show of the new season. And, bro, you got to understand, this isn't like they're not into the season yet. So there was a lot of time to prepare for this first show. I mean, bro, God knows how many writers, work on each individual skit, bro. Like, writers take the skits and God knows how many there are. And I'm sitting back and I'm saying, for the first episode of the season, some of the writing was like so bad that like when some of the skits aired, and there was one, bro, during the course of the Weekend Update, that was so bad, it felt uncomfortable. And I mean, and you could listen to the crowd. And, bro, how like you're going to SNL, you're all hyped up, you're all happy to be there, you're going to pop over anything. Like you could even, the crowd like just was not laughing, and it was so awkward. So like I'm sitting, and bro, keep this in mind in the past. Bro, it's okay to do that. Like, it's okay for a skit to not be funny when a Bill Murray is in it, when a Chevy Chase is in it, when an Eddie Murphy is in it, when a Will Ferrell is in it, Gilda Radner, and the list goes on and on and on. It's okay for a skit not to be funny. They're going to make anything funny because they're huge stars and they're huge talents. But when you have a roster of talent that are not huge stars and not huge talents, and they're mediocre at best, if the material isn't side-splitting, it's going to be awkward and it's going to be bad. And again, bro, when you look at every episode of SNL, the only time it changes and it gets a little better is if they like have a comedian on the show that gets himself involved in the writing. Like if they have a Louis C.K. and they say, okay, Louis, you're going to be in this scene. And once Louis's in the scene, he gets his hand on some of the writing, and then it's better. It's the only time you'll see the show get better. And, bro, it reminds me so much of the wrestling business because, okay, so we forgot how to make stars. And, you know, number two, out of habit, everybody still watches the show. I can't tell you how many people must sit there on Saturday nights. I mean, my kids stopped watching the show for this reason. And just you're sitting there on Saturday night and you're just saying, this is not funny. You know, and I mean, like I said, it's almost like the wrestling syndrome. So it's almost like what happened, bro, to this revolving door of stars that were coming out of this show, you know, up until, you know, Jimmy Fallon, you know, just, you know, David Spade and all those guys, one right after the other. God, bro, there isn't anybody on that show right now that even looks close to being a breakout star. And it's kind of been that way for 5 years now.
I don't watch it anymore. Just from what I've noticed, I would say, like, didn't Kristen Wiig come from there?
Yeah, that was easily the last biggest breakout star. And I mean, bro, she's been off the show now for at least 3 years. Yeah,
I mean, I stopped watching it. I don't even think I've been a regular watcher since the 90s, to be honest with you. I definitely don't watch it anymore. It wasn't funny. I'm like, I don't enjoy it. So, you know, I watched the 40th anniversary special or whatever last year, and there were some funny things and there were some stupid things, but it didn't make me want to watch the show again every week. I wonder, you know, maybe Lorne Michaels is going through the same thing Vince McMahon's going through. You know, how old is he now?
Yeah, bro, that's a very good point. I mean, he's got to be close to that age. But, bro, look it up real quick.
All right.
He's got to be pushing. I mean, shoot, bro, if he's been doing this for 40 years, he's got to be pushing at least 65. He couldn't have started this younger than 25.
He's 70.
He's 70 years old. That's a great point, Jeff. Yeah, out of touch with the audience, maybe. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so I wonder, you know, if it's just – I wonder if the funny people are just going elsewhere when they're coming up now and they're not going there. There's so many avenues like with Comedy Central now, which wasn't really a big deal with funny people, you know, back in the 90s. Everybody wanted to go to Saturday Night Live. I wonder if that's just not the preferred choice of the up-and-coming comedian, that's where they want to go. Maybe they want a Netflix special. Maybe they want to go, you know, like I said, to Comedy Central or some other avenue. So maybe they're not just getting the best crop of talent or writers these days.
Yeah. I don't know, bro. And bro, another thing too. Listen, I just have to say this, and I really try not to be critical, but like freaking bro, Miley Cyrus just needs to get over herself. You know, I mean, bro, like enough's enough. Like she's just trying to be this. Bro, but here's the funny thing, okay, bro? I'm going to tell you something, Jeff. This is a God honest truth. Bro, a couple of years ago, Lady Gaga did the Howard Stern show. And she was in Stern's studio, bro, and all she had was a piano, okay? She played this song, bro, that she wrote. You know, first of all, she set it up and she told the story. And then she played this song that she wrote, like, about her grandfather that had passed. Okay, Jeff, I swear to you, I was sitting there watching this. This when Stern was on demand. He's not on demand anymore. And the way Lady Gaga sang this song, like, brought me to tears. I mean, like, and that rarely happens to me, bro. Like, you know, that a song brings me to tears. The emotion and her voice. And keep in mind, bro, this is in a studio live, her and a piano. And I was like, and I realized then how gifted Lady Gaga is, because, you know, you see the gimmick and the smoke and the mirrors and you know, and the meat gown and all that stuff. And, you know, you think a lot of it is flash, but then when you really get to see the artist work, it's like, holy crap, this girl can sing, you know, and that's, you know, and like I said, she brought me to tears. Well, Miley Cyrus, like, tries to sing that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, like, you know, I don't know. But here's the problem, bro. It's a live show. So, like, every flat note that she doesn't hit, I mean, it's it's magnified a million times over. So here she is on this show trying to be this great singer, this Lady Gaga type singer, and every 10 seconds in there's a flat note, there's a wrong key, there's something that sounds like absolutely horrible. And here's the thing, bro, I'm so sick and tired of these people putting on a show to be bigger, larger than life, to have everybody talking about them. That's what Miley Cyrus does. Listen, if you want to go out there and sing, go out there and sing. Even Britney got over it. I think once Britney had the kids and then she's got her gig in Vegas every day, she lives a normal life. There just comes to a point where you kind of get over it, which brings me to, bro, another thing this week of they had the new episode of Couples Therapy, which I'm a big mark of on VH1. And every year, Jeff, there's a train wreck on Couples Therapy. And this year's train wreck is Janice Dickinson, okay, who I'm sure you know. But here's the thing, bro. It's so annoying when you watch these reality shows, when celebrities are involved and they're going above and beyond to get noticed. You know what I'm saying, Jeff? For the recognition, just the way they're acting and the things they're saying and the language they're using. It's all synthetic, bro. It's all made up. I mean, nothing is organic. And literally, if you watch reality TV, you're smartened up to it 5 minutes in, okay, this woman isn't that much of a biatch. She's putting on an absolute act. So everybody is talking about her the following day. Man, I just I hate that, bro. I mean, if you're a lightning rod and you just become a lightning rod, that's one thing. If you try to make yourself a lightning rod like a Miley Cyrus or a Janice Dickinson, God, it's so hard to watch.
Well, your first point there with the Miley Cyrus and the musicians, it's musical talent for the big record companies doesn't matter anymore. I mean, they build a gimmick. They build a gimmick. Do you have the look? Can you fit this character? Our machines will make you sound good. The most talented musicians today are on tiny record labels. You know what I mean? It's hard to find. They have to do their own advertising, social media. You got to YouTube their videos. They don't get radio play because they don't have a gimmick and they're not controversial. So the best musicians are not at the top of the charts. And I wonder if people like Aretha Franklin came up today, if she wouldn't even get a record deal. I'm sure there's people. Where are people? You're telling me people today can't sing? There's not amazing people out there that sing phenomenally. Like you said, Lady Gaga's a different deal. But what if she didn't have that gimmick? Would she have gotten the deal? You know what I mean? So it's really strange. Musical talent doesn't matter anymore. Half the concerts, people aren't even singing. It's all lip sync, or they got auto tune on their microphone to make their voice sound good. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And I feel sorry for the really talented musicians that can't get the airplay and the recognition that they deserve because they're not a walking gimmick.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, like the reality shows, I mean, maybe that's just the same thing. You got to do something stupid and controversial so people talk about you.
Yeah. And here's the thing too. I want to hit upon these two notes. First of all, I wanted to see it. I'm not a fan of American Horror Story. I'm not a fan of it. My daughter watched the first couple of seasons, but Lady Gaga is on it this year. And, they had the first episode this week and she got rave reviews. Bro, you know how you know when somebody's talented? Here's how you know when somebody's talented. When they can, when they have the trifecta, bro. When they can sing, when they can dance, when they can act, when they can do it all, somebody's talented. I mean, bro, you go back to Sinatra, who won an Academy Award, and you go back to, people like Dean Martin, Sammy Davis, Liza Minnelli, who won for Cabaret. That's how when somebody's really talented. I never saw Lady Gaga act before, but she's gotten rave reviews. So I really wanted to see this. Bro, there was a line on Scream Queens that blew me away this week. It was in such poor taste. But, bro, it's I swear to God, it's I think in this day and age, anybody can say anything and get away with it, because there's just so much coming at you, right? Bro, the lead in Scream Queens, I don't know the actress's name. I don't even know the are you watching Scream Queens?
Yeah, I didn't see this week's yet, but I saw Emma Roberts, the main girl, the bitchy girl.
Yeah, that's who
it is. Yeah, it's Julia Roberts' niece.
Okay. Bro, this was her line that I sat there and I could not believe. They were talking about, body weight, because everything with these girls is they got to look their best. No, the whole 9 yards. So somebody said something to her about a weight, and she turned around and she goes, I'm skinnier than even Karen Carpenter was in the morgue. And I was like, I don't know, bro, maybe because I'm so sensitive, with the S&P and oh my God, wrestling, I said, I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, bro, that has to be like the worst. And of course, bro, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking of her brother, Richard Carpenter, watching the show and hearing that line and this and that. But I'm like, oh my God, bro, like that was one of the, like, I can't, like, and it was so nonchalant.
The whole show, I mean, the first 2 episodes I saw, which was actually 3 episodes because they did a double episode. I mean, the whole show there's lines like that throughout the whole thing. You're just like, holy cow. But yeah, it's refreshing though, because I don't think you can get away with stuff like that today. I think this show it is just different because everybody's so politically correct nowadays. You can't say anything without somebody throwing a freaking hissy fit.
Yeah.
But that's why I like this show. It's refreshing. But yeah, I haven't watched this week's yet. I'm behind. But yeah, I get a kick out of that. Like the what she said to the gay kid the first week, she's like, "Can I speak to you in private?" And she's like, "Oh, like private, like like privates that are on men that you like to put in your mouth." like, you know what I mean? You don't say that stuff on TV. But yeah, I think she's phenomenal. Dude.
I think part of that show, bro, is like you really have to listen to the dialogue.
Oh, yeah.
It comes so fast and furious and one line after the next that if you're not really zeroed in and listening to it, like the Karen Carpenter thing is going to go right over your head. It's that quick. I think that's how they get away with a lot of it too, bro, because there's so much in there that if you're not paying the attention, you totally miss it. And here's another one, bro. Have you still been watching Blind Spot?
Again, just not this week's. I haven't seen it yet. My DVR is loaded, man. I'm so behind.
What's that chick's name?
In real life?
Yeah.
Jamie Alexander.
I mean, forget about it. I mean, you like off the charts, but bro, I gotta say, I really like the show. I think the show is good. She's kick-ass. She's beautiful. But bro, the lead actor, what's his name? Do you know?
I don't know his name. The FBI guy.
Yeah, bro, he's such a bad actor. I mean, the guy comes off like just so cheesy a lot, and like I'm sitting there and I'm saying to myself, like, this is NBC. Like, how did this guy, like, I mean, he's bad, bro. I mean, he's not a good actor. And I mean, this is a big show that they put a lot of money into it. And I sit there and, I mean, bro, you see the effects and, there's so much money put into this show. And I'm like, oh my God, watch him. He's not, in my opinion, he's not a very good actor.
Do you remember the episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia where, they were hitting on the high school kids and they were trying to go to the prom?
Yeah.
She's in that one. She's the girl that's 18 in the red dress that is trying to get with Dennis in that episode.
Oh, I got to go back and watch that. Yeah, because I did see that episode. I got to go back and watch it.
Yeah, she's in that episode. I thought that was cool. But yeah, I'll pay attention to him specifically when I watch this week's episode because I haven't had an opinion either way.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anything else on your end?
No. You don't watch Gotham, do you?
Bro, I don't even know why I don't watch. Here's why I don't watch Gotham. Because I'm such a mark for Batman, and Batman's not in Gotham. Yeah, I know, but that's why I don't watch Gotham. If I turn on Gotham, I want to see Batman. Doesn't even have to be Adam West, 1966. I want to see It's Gotham. Where's Batman? That's why I don't watch it. I swear to God. And I had this conversation with Scott Casey Gale because he's a big Gotham guy. And like Scott tells me, like Scott says, eventually Batman's going to be in Gotham. Is that the plan? Do you know anything about that? Because I guarantee you, the first time there's a Batman sighting, I will watch the show every week. But I think that's what prevents me from watching it.
I doubt it because Bruce Wayne is like 11 or 12 in the show. So I really don't see this kid being Batman on the show.
So the whole premise is like the villains. We see the villains. We see how they get created, and they're running rampant. But Bruce Wayne is an 11-year-old kid.
Yeah, and Jim Gordon's the big character.
Commissioner Gordon.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was disappointed. I'm going to give a spoiler here, so mute if you haven't seen the newest episode. I got caught up on Gotham last night, and they have been teasing that this one guy is going to be the Joker. Okay, the way he's laughing, he looks like the Joker. This kid was phenomenal. I'm like, this dude, I mean, if I saw him in real life, I might think this guy's actually the Joker. He was great at it. But it was a big swerve. They killed him. He's not the Joker. And like the whole thing, even when he died, he had red blood, like, you know, for his grin. And he's dying in the morgue laughing. And then like, apparently he's going to be the influence that eventually creates the Joker, because then they showed a bunch of people around Gotham watching him on TV, and they were all doing the Joker laugh. So it's like, okay, are one of these people the Joker? We don't know who's going to be the Joker. So it was a giant swerve, and I get it that they're trying to be creative and fool the audience, but I was just disappointed because this kid was so good. Like, he could have been the Joker.
So what villains have been developed at this point?
Penguin, Riddler. Well, the Riddler's not fully developed. He just committed his first murder. He's working in the Gotham Police Department. But the Penguin's a crime boss now. Catwoman's a child also. She's hanging around with Bruce Wayne. She's like a couple of years older than him. I think she's supposed to be like 14 in the show. They had Harvey Dent on the show, but he's not Two-Face yet.
Now, Jeff, let me ask you this question. You know, you say that, you know, Bruce Wayne is only 11, 12 years old. Catwoman is only 13. Bro, do you think that maybe a season may start where it's 10 years later?
It's possible. They would completely have to change the actors. I mean, this kid is tiny. I don't know how old he is in real life, but he's really small. So he would have to, like, hit an amazing growth spurt.
But I'm talking about they have a brand new actor.
Right, yeah, they may have to do that. I don't know. It's interesting.
I just can't see.
Poison Ivy's even younger. Like, she was in the show. She's like 8 or 9. She was a little girl.
I just can't see how the show would develop if there's never a Batman.
Right. But, dude, I mean, it's different. I mean, I get that as a Batman fan, but, like, Gotham looks so cool.
Yeah, I got to watch Gotham, man.
I think the city is so cool looking, and
Jeff, I think what happened, bro, is like I wanted to start watching it, and I think like on demand, they didn't have the first season. I'm like, I'm not going to watch this, but I think Gotham was just put on Netflix.
Let me look that up for you because I haven't seen it on there.
I thought it was just put on Netflix, bro. So I mean, if that's the case, I got to start watching this show.
Let's take a look here. Gotham Season 1 Netflix release date. Will it be available to stream? It says yes. It was put on 2 weeks ago. So,
yeah. And also, too, they're raising their prices, by the way, Netflix.
I saw that. It's going up $1.
Bro, do you have Netflix?
Yeah, I do.
Jeff, I got to tell you, I don't like the selection on Netflix. The only reason I have Netflix, bro, here's the only reason in the world, because when I do my treadmill, I use my iPad, and I watch Everybody Loves Raymond. I swear to God, that's the only reason I have Netflix. Are you satisfied with the selection and what you get on Netflix? And yeah, Phil, Always Sunny is on Netflix too. I'll watch that. But as far as the movie selection and the releases and whatnot, I'm not impressed.
No, I rarely watch movies on Netflix. I only watch TV shows if I watch something. And I guess they just dropped one of their deals with one of the major movie companies, so they're going to have even less big name movies now. I wouldn't be surprised if it just turns fully to TV at some point.
Well, Jeff, so am I in the wrong place? Is there a service where you can get better movies? Is that Hulu? I mean, is that out there?
I've never used Hulu. I thought it was only TV. I may be wrong, but I think Amazon Prime has movies.
I gotta check that out. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But like, I really just have Netflix out of habit. Like, yeah, I really
the same
do.
way. Yeah, I did see though, bro, because a lot. I'll go on there once in a while and just see new releases. I did see on there the other day. There's a new documentary on Keith Richards that I bet you is really, really interesting. I might watch that this weekend.
Yeah, I need to. The Daredevil series is on there. It's only on Netflix. It's a Netflix show. I need to watch that. I enjoyed Orange is the New Black. I haven't watched the new season of that. So there is still a lot of stuff on Netflix I need to watch, but it's all TV related, nothing movie-wise.
Okay. All right, Jeff. Well, listen, there you have it. Jeff and I are going to go now. We're going to do what are we going to do now, Jeff? Lions, Tigers, Bears, and Dirt, and talk about wrestling. That's going to air today. This show that we're doing today is going to air tomorrow.
Time warp there.
Time warp, bro. Let's do the time warp. And on Monday, of course, we'll be back with we'll record our Raw show on Monday. There's going to be a little change in Vixens That Rule on Monday. I want to let everybody know. Chuck Palumbo has a series on a Discovery Channel called Rusted Development. And the finale of the show is on Monday. So I told Chuck that I would play his interview on Monday to help promote a Rusted Development where the finale airs on Monday. So it's going to be a special preview, a special swerve on Monday with Chuck Palumbo in place of Vixens Who Rule. And it's an interesting interview with Palumbo, too, because he's very candid, bro, about how difficult it was for him to make the transition from WCW to WWE. And he talks about, walking into a much, much different world. And it was very, very interesting. So that interview with Chuck Palumbo will air on Monday. But listen, until then, I hope everybody has a great weekend. And Jeff and I will see you right back here on The Brand next week. Thanks for joining us.
Visit VinceRussoBrand.com to sign up for exclusive VIP content. You get over 20 new video shows monthly, including Vixens Who Rule and The Swerve, where Vince Russo interviews stars in wrestling and beyond. Listen to Vince and Jeff Lane discuss weekly news and rumor and review Attitude Era Raws. Also, watch the cult hit Bucket Full of Chicken next. Go to VinceRussoBrand.com and click the red subscribe button to join now.